Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well out there, staying safe. This is going to be a video of what I watched this week. I've been doing this segment now. This is my second video, and I just wanted to put a few films out there to review for you guys with brief reviews, like I said. And this allows me to do like mixtures of pretty much genres. I can do like action, exploitation, kung fu, crime, drama, and then I could go to my favorite genre, horror, and just different genres it allows me to do. So I'm really enjoying this. So we are going to get into 5 films that I watched this week. I think that's 5, actually 6 films that I watched this week. I'll be giving you guys a quick review of and give you guys my thoughts. These are my opinions, and I don't do ratings. I just give it an approval, the May decent, and also a disapproval, which I didn't really care for the film. So let's get it going, guys. I'm going to start with the first film that I watched. I watched the Arrow 4K of True Romance, and this is directed by Tony Scott. He also directed Domino from 2005, Out the Furnace from 2013. This was written by Quentin Tarantino, and I just want to say this looks awesome in 4K. Real crisp and clean picture. This has an all-star cast. Let me get started with it has Christian Slater. He came out in a lot of films. He needs no introduction. He came out in Legend of Billie Jean, Broken Arrow. Man, he's been in so many. Heathers, I could name so many. He's just a classic, all-time classic actor there. We got Patricia Arquette from Lost Highway, plenty of other films. Gary Oldman, no introduction. The Professional. Got Dennis Hopper, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, several other films. Christopher Walken, Legend, Dead Zone, King of New York. We got Brad Pitt, Seven. He doesn't need an introduction. California, Slasher I Enjoy. Val Kilmer. He plays Elvis in this film. It took me a while to realize where he was in the film. So, yeah, he plays Elvis in this film, like an Elvis ghost, and he needs no introduction either as well. Came out in Heat, so many other films. Has an all-star cast in this film. So let's get into the film. I hadn't watched this in 10 plus years, so I decided to pick this up. I remember enjoying it, but now that I revisited it, man, it was even more of an experience. So let's get into the film. We got Clarence, played by Christian Slater, and Patricia Arquette. Her name's Alabama in this film. They meet up kind of like randomly at a theater, and you have Christian Slater, Clarence. He's watching some kung fu films, and he finds her, and he just thinks that she's everything. They meet up at this theater. He thinks she's everything that he's always wanted, man. She's watching the films with him. They go and bond. They have pretty much a late night dinner. They pretty much end up, falling for each other. They have pretty much a one night stand. When they wake up, he realizes she's crying. He wonders and questions it, and she confesses that she's a call girl, and she was pretty much paid to be his escort for the night, but then she ended up falling in love with him. She's trying to prove this to him, and pretty much they end up, since the first night, just falling in love with each other. And then they end up getting in some situations. You got her, she's pretty much a call girl. She has to report back to her pimp. You see Clarence go over there to settle the score with him. Starts with a bloody fights and shootouts, and you pretty much have them on the run. And he takes a suitcase thinking that it's her clothes. It's actually a bunch of cocaine kilos. So this starts a big old chase down between a mafia gang and other ones that want to get back at him. So you go in like a Bonnie and Clyde chase. They go from New York to LA and meet with friends there. And you got some pretty good bloody scenes through this film. You have a love story, and it's just them pretty much trying to escape and, get this money and take off with each other, sell the drugs and get money for it and take off. So yeah, this film is a lot of fun, man. I hadn't seen it, like I said, in 10 plus years, and I'm gonna actually say this is probably my favorite Christian Slater film. I just loved it. It has a great story to it, bloody action the way I like it, and like the love story too, the romance story, and great characters, great cast all around. So yeah, I love this film. I'm gonna give it the high undead approval for this one. That's True Romance from 1993. Like I said, my favorite Christian Slater movie now after revisiting it, for sure. Okay, so let's get into my next film here. This is from Kino Lorber. It's Rush. from 1991. This stars Jason Patrick. First off, this is directed by Lily Van Zanuck. She also produced Cocoon from 1985, directed True Crime from 1999, Clint Eastwood film. This stars Jason Patrick from The Lost Boys, Jennifer Jason Leigh from Fast Times at Richmond High, and you got Sam Elliott from Roadhouse, so pretty good cast in this one as well. This is like another kind of, I'm not gonna say, this is like a cop film, undercover, narcotics film. You got Jim, played by Jason Patrick. He's looking for a partner. He goes to see some new trained agents in the division, and he ends up finding an eye for Christian, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, and he brings her into this undercover, pretty much narcotics agency. They go in, they dress as these pretty much junkies, and they go and try to bust these big time drug dealers. And then you got Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers. He's the lead drug kingpin. He's very menacing in this film, and they're pretty much trying to get him and catch him down. And you see them go into the drug world, and it's a very dangerous job, as they actually are experimenting with drugs, and they get their own addiction, and also they end up falling in love with each other. So they're pretty much like a couple trying to beat the drug addiction and stay straight and pretty much bust these drug dealers. And it's a real interesting story. I mean, you got them pretty much trying to make it. You got him as Jim. He gets really badly addicted. You have her who's got the addiction too, but she's just trying to get him out of there. And you got these dangerous drug dealers who are beginning to find out that, they're cops, so they're looking at them and want to get them. So that takes this twist in the story. Pretty much all I could say without giving spoilers, but yeah, I really enjoyed this film as well. I thought it was awesome. Very 90s feel to it. Again, a great cast: Jason Patrick, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Sam Elliott. And yeah, the ending's pretty satisfying too. It's pretty sad. And another thing I want to say about this: awesome soundtrack of classic rock in it. I went and got some music to add to the collection after watching this movie. So Rush from 1991. This gets the high undead approval as well. Love this film. And next up, get the camera there. Next up, we got from 1991, Cool as Ice. And this is when I saw this film, I was like, oh man, what kind of cheese am I getting into here? But yeah, it's Vanilla Ice. This is Cool as Ice, 1991, directed by David Kellogg. He directed Inspector Gadget from 1999. This stars Vanilla Ice as Johnny. Stars Kristen Miller as Kathy. So this is kind of like a love romance film musical, but with the hip hop edge to it from the 90s, which I grew up watching. And I would say you pretty much have to grow up in that era. I wouldn't say that, but to enjoy this film a little more. And I thought it was hilarious. It's very cheesy. You pretty much got Johnny. He's this hardcore rapper, and he's pretty much cruising with his friends across on crotch rocket motorcycles. They would go to this ranch area, and he meets up with Christian, the girl here. She's kind of like this rancher cowgirl, and he falls for her instantly. She's not really digging him. She has a boyfriend who pretty much treats her like garbage. So then you got Johnny's trying to win her over. They're in a little feud there for her. And then you also got Michael Gross from Tremors, man. He's the dad, and he's pretty much in witness protection is what you find out. And you got these guys that are after him. They want some money. They're owed $500,000. They come back and pretty much want to kidnap her or her younger brother and hold a ransom to get that money. So then you got Johnny Vanilla Ice. They're pretty much believing that he's involved with him. He's pretty much not. So they got him as the hero. He comes to save her. She starts to find out that he's a good guy. They fall in love, and it's just an awesome soundtrack as well. If you like that 90s hip hop, this has that feel to it. I really enjoyed this one. I know it's not a good movie by any means necessary, but I like it. I grew up in that era, so this is gonna get the undead approval by me. Enjoyed this one as well. 1991, Cool as Ice. Okay, next up. Now we're gonna get into the horror, so let's get into that genre. I saved that for last. So here we go with this is from 1982. It's A Stranger is Watching, Scream Factory edition. This is directed by Sean S. Cunningham. He directed Friday the 13th. This is his thriller film. He directed a year after Friday the 13th. So this stars Rip Torn, rest in peace. He came out in Beastmaster. This also stars Kate Mulgrew. She came out on Star Trek Voyager show. That's the main cast. So this is basically a thriller kind of. It does have slasher elements in it. And this is basically about, you see this girl, little girl, she's pretty much had a traumatic situation. She pretty much goes downstairs to pretty much see her mom brutally raped and murdered in front of her eyes. It leaves her traumatized. And we fast forward a little bit later, she's living with her dad. They're trying to get over this. But then as you find out, pretty much she's left alone, and you have this killer that kidnaps her, and as well as the dad's new girlfriend that's a reporter, and takes him to this under like subway area, and he's holding him ransom there. But he's pretty much trying to sexually assault the news reporter, and he pretty much has a plan saying he wants to get money off this guy, and if they don't deliver it, he's gonna kill him. Which turns out he really is gonna kill him. He's not messing around. He's the psychotic killer, and you see him go throughout the film, and you see him get more and more maniac style where he's killing people. Yeah, this film was highly enjoyable, man. I really thought this was a gem, and this is I'd say a thriller type slasher film from 1982. It's A Stranger Is Watching. This is also going to get the high undead approval. Really liked it. And you got Rip Torn. He's playing a real menacing character in this film, and he fits it perfect. So that's a 1982's A Stranger Is Watching. So next up we got here, this is a Code Red edition. It is Scream from 1981. Not to be confused with the Scream from the 90s. This is a different film, not the Wes Craven films. This is a kind of thriller slasher as well from the early 80s. This is directed by Byron Quisenberry. She did stunts for the movie Return of the Living Dead classic, and I couldn't find too much else on her. This stars Aloy Moore. He came out in Brotherhood of Satan from 71. This also stars Woody Strode. He came out in Keoma, a western I really enjoy, with Franco Nero. So this is, like I said, a slasher from the early 80s. Let's get into the film. It's basically about this group of people. They're on pretty much canoeing, like a canoe trip. They end up going to shore and getting stranded. They end up walking to find this town. It's like an old western abandoned town. So they decide to camp out there as they have no way of getting back home. As they camp out there, they start to suspect some real odd things. They start to hear noises and real like supernatural type of stuff. You hear footsteps. They're real paranoid, and as it turns out, there is a kind of killer in there that's stalking him, and he's pretty much picking them off one by one in this abandoned town. So you have them, they're trying to bundle up, survive, but as you know, they all wander off on themselves by themselves, single-handedly there, and they end up getting picked off, which happens in a lot of slasher films. The question is this killer a real killer among them, or is it a supernatural force? That's the twist here that you'd have to watch to find out here. So yeah, I'm gonna get into this film. It is atmospheric. There's a lot of kills that are off screen, and I got complaints about that. I do not like off screen kills, and you got some pretty questionable decisions which you get through slasher films throughout. But I pretty much thought a lot of them were very bright during this film where they'd go, but that happens in a lot of films, so I'm not holding that against it. There was one interesting kill I liked with an axe. I thought that was good, and the rest of the other kills are just off. They're off camera, and they just didn't satisfy me. And I thought the film was a little rushed. Overall, the atmosphere I liked. Characters weren't too much to care for, and pretty much I found this film a lot to be boring. I'm gonna be honest. I even fell asleep through part of it. I had to rewind it. So yeah. This film, to me, this is my opinion, was a disappointment. I'm going to give it the undead disapproval. I can't recommend this one. There were elements that I did enjoy, but moreover, it was a snooze fest to me. So that's my opinion, guys. I can't approve this one. This is Scream from 1981. So next up, we're going with a Vinegar Syndrome edition. This is Killer's Delight. This is a 1978 type of serial killer film. It's based off a serial killer. And let me get to this real quick there. This is directed by Jeremy Honak, and he did sounds department in a lot of films such as Airplane and Beastmaster as well. This stars James Louisi. Probably slaughtered the name, but he came out in Fade to Black, 80s from the slasher. He came out. This got John Carlin and Martin Spear. He came out in The Hills Have Eyes, the original. So this film is basically, like I said, it's based off a couple serial killers, including Ted Bundy. We have a cop, a detective, who's pretty much trying to track this killer down. He's a killer. He drives like this van, and he's picking up hitchhikers, specifically young girls. He pretty much takes them and brutally murders them, man. You see bones popping out of the body. You see him thrown off cliffs. You see pretty much strangulation, real brutal ways that he's killing these young girls. And what's unique about this killer is he disguises himself. He wears like wigs, mustaches, sunglasses, makes him give that real creepy look, and he has a real creepy van in this film. So he's pretty much he's stalking this area where it's like a swimming pool area where all these young girls and teenagers go to swim, and he that's where he stalks his prey. He follows the women, pretty much tricks him into going with him, has a ride. He'll do devious stuff to leave them stranded, and once he takes him, it's just a brutal thing, man. You find these girls dead, their clothes off, and killed in a pretty brutal way. So that really did satisfy me in the killer's way. But this film I thought was real solid, man. And I'm a sucker for these films that are based off serial killers. I always find an interest in them. So this one, I really enjoyed this film. I like the atmosphere, like I said. It gave me some Maniac vibes in a way. And the killer was real menacing. I liked the guy that played it. His name was John Carlin. And he really did a great job at playing a psychotic killer who's frustrated for other reasons I'll explain in the film. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This will get the Undead approval. It's Killer's Delight from 1978, man. Fun film. So those are my watches for this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me give you a quick recap, not in order. We got Killer's Delight, 78. Scream from 1981. We got Strangers Watching, Scream Factory. We got Cool as Ice. We got Rush. And True Romance. Those were my watches for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please hit a like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Hope everyone's having a great week out there, man. Stay safe. Be kind to each other. Watch movies. Keep it horror. Peace.
Top Gun and Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Hello, baby.
Clarence?
I'm a married man, buddy.
A con man.
Ask him if he got the letter.
Did you get the letter?
What letter?
He wants to talk to you.
No time. Tell him we gotta go.
A call girl.
You cop all day?
Huh?
I'm Alabama.
She a 4-alarm fire or what?
She seems very nice.
What are you doing in L.A. anyway, huh?
And a suitcase full of trouble.
My name is Vincent Cocotti. I work as consul for Mr. Blue Lou Boyle, the man your son stole from.
Now, all that stands between them and their wildest dreams.
Find out who this wing and a prayer artist is and take him off at the neck.
Are 60 cops. 40 agents.
He's a wild man, this kid Clarence. I like him.
30 mobsters.
I haven't killed anybody since 1984.
And a few thousand bullets.
We're all gonna die here. These are cops. Put him down. Put him down. Put him down.
Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken,
Slow it down, man.
in a Tony Scott film.
I think what you did was so romantic.
Not since Bonnie and Clyde have two people been so good at being bad. True Romance.
Oh, I know I was gonna burn since I was 14.
Detective Jim Raynor was the right man for the job.
What do you ever want to do this for, anyway?
Seems like a chance to make a difference.
Rookie rookie detective Kristen Cates was the right woman for the job.
Today was going to be different.
It was the job that was all wrong.
We buy drugs, and you go in thinking these people are stupid. It'll get you hurt in a New York minute. And me hurt with you.
It began with a lie.
Now, Will Gaines is the dealer in drugs and pornography, and that is a fact. Make the case.
Are you telling us to plant evidence?
I'm telling you that sometimes good work is accomplished in a mysterious way. Let's pray together.
You lied to the dealer.
Oh, yeah. I got you all fixed up. No, she don't fix. I think she fixed, but she don't walk out of here.
You lied to your boss.
Your word.
Not bad. I gave your friend a coat back.
Not taking your work home at night.
But it's a fine line, Don.
But when you're an undercover narcotics cop, lying to yourself is the most dangerous lie of all.
I'm scared. Someone's changing here and got less control of it all the time.
That's the whole game, baby. Nobody's got control.
Right.
There you do, man.
Some people that think Jim might be a cop.
Look, I need something you got. Tell me something badass. You think I'm stupid?
Man could get hurt.
Man could get hurt.
Lord, please help this man your health and your strength as he faces this difficult task. For we are soldiers in your army, and we fight your enemies with our very lives. Amen.
Their values are from the 50s. Their homes are from the 60s. And their music is from the 70s.
Let's start chasing.
So, are we having fun yet or what?
But now, this sleepy little town is about to become cool as ice.
Drop it. What the hell is that? Drop that zero and get with the hero. You are the girl for me. See you later, Dick. It's Nick. Oh, yeah. Nick.
Sometimes I'd like to do something really wild just because I never have.
You ain't true to yourself, and you ain't true to nobody.
Your love can take me higher.
I want you to stay away from him.
He's not what you think he is. My brother's been kidnapped.
What we want, Jim, is a little collection on an old IOU. You're the eye, and we're the you.
You're all wrong. You didn't do anything.
Come on, get on.
How can you know that, Catherine?
I trust him, Dad.
Vanilla Ice is going to take an uncool world
I'm the teacher, man. You're
and chill it to the bone.
Well, I hope you like being a biker chick, because you're not going to see me or my car again. Imagine that.
From Universal Pictures, cool as ice.
1 million people pass through it every day. Some of them never get out, because beneath it is another world where a killer can hide, victims can disappear, and no one will ever know.
Dad, when are you going to be home?
I'll be there at 8 if the train's on time.
1 minute, Dad.
Julie?
Into the darkest catacombs of the city, a stranger is watching. A whole new vision of fear.
I know you're here.
Julie, come back! Stop it! He's the one who killed my mother. He killed my mother.
You know what this is? His file. If you try to escape, you're dead.
He don't leave us in here with that thing. I think I see something. What is it? It looks like a tunnel.
Based on the best-selling thriller is now the movie that shows it. There were a million witnesses, but no one saw it happen. A stranger.
As the perfect weekend vacation, spend a night in a ghost town. What could possibly go wrong? It was great fun until the nightmare began. Then you can't run. You can't hide. You cannot escape. And you never look back. Because someone or something is waiting for you, watching. And you trust no one. Because no one comes out of this town alive. Is it haunted? Or is it one of their own gone mad? It will bring you right out of your seat. But whatever you do, don't scream. This is Kelly. She made a mistake. This is Linda. She should have known. And this is Annie. She